You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with
Freedom Train.
Welcome, race fans, to the Domino's TYJ Racing Series Dented Fender Truck Finale here at Homestead Miami Speedway, live on All Pro Broadcasting. Thank you, Michael D'Amico, for all your help in 2017. Joining me in the booth is my good friend, former winner, hopefully winner tomorrow night in the Top Shelf Cup Series finale at Homestead, Ryan A. Hill. How you doing tonight, Ryan?
I'm doing great, Robert. We got 12 drivers tonight racing for a championship, and I'm ready to see what these drivers can put on.
Awesome. We got some of the best drivers we have ever seen here in the 3 years or 2 years of Domino's TYJ Racing. Ryan, go over that list, if you will, the top 12 guys who are going to be racing for that coveted trophy.
Yes, sir. Well, first off, we have Jared Campbell in the number 6, Shane Parrish in the number 81, Gary Sexton in the number 17, Jack Watson in the number 66, Jeremy Crandall in the number 73, Blake Griffith in the number 7, Andrew Kessler in the number 98, Tyler Chalk in the number 07, Judd Danielson in the number 85, Jeff T. Martin in the number 15, Vernon, I'm not going to pronounce that, number 33, Margine in the number 33, and the 12th driver, number 4, William Watkins.
Thank you there, Ron. In your opinion, which is the underdog to win this championship, and who do you think is the favorite?
Oh, my personal opinion, I think Jeff T. Martin's your underdog. I've raced with him a lot in the Top Shelf Series and in the series where we come through, and he's always trying, he's always up there, he's always putting on his best show, so he's definitely the underdog. In terms of overall who's going to be up front, I mean, obviously you can't count out any of the Aegis guys. I mean, they run up front about every series they run in. And, you know, I think you might see Blake Griffin might be up there. You're obviously going to have Jeremy Crandall and Gary Sexton. So I think those are going to be some of your favorites along with the Aegis guys.
That sounds awesome. Again, fans, you are watching this final race for the Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fender Truck Series. It is the IRAPS 250. IRAPS look good going fast. In just a minute, we're going to get the owner of IRAPS, Joe Johnson, to give us a couple of words on exactly how you can get signed up and get your beautiful, beautiful paint car, dirt car paint job here in iRacing. I also want to remind you, fans, we are giving away the large 3-topping Domino's free pizza like we've done all season long. We'll give you details on how to do that in just a few minutes. Again, this is Homestead, Miami. It is a unique mile-and-a-half track, unlike any of the other mile-and-a-half tracks in NASCAR. This is a very wide open track. It is worn. There's going to be 1, 2, if not 3 grooves on the track. Ryan A. Hill, what's your perspective of this particular racetrack and why it makes for such great racing?
Well, I think it makes for great racing because this track is unknown to everybody. We come here only one time a year, and that's the Crown of Champions. So it's not like tracks like Texas we go to 2 times a year. It is a mile-and-a-half. It's not a cookie cutter, so you don't have. So you're not. It's not a D-shaped track, so it's obviously very different. As you said, there are multiple grooves that could and can be ran, and it's really going to take effect on what these weather conditions are really going to truly do or throw at these drivers.
Well, for sure, we've definitely brought some of the most interesting weather conditions these guys have seen all year. The track is slick. I've heard from some drivers it's tight on the first 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 laps. I've heard these drivers can go between 40 and 50 laps on a green flag run. But it's going to come down to a lot of things to win this championship. Obviously, Ryan, you've heard me talk about the keys to doing this. Give the fans your 3 or 4 keys to winning this championship tonight.
Track position is going to be key. Like you said, the track conditions are kind of unknown to these drivers, so you're going to have track position wherever you go. Keep your truck clean. You get a little bit of damage, it could knock you off 3, 4, 5, 10 miles an hour. And, you know, just pay attention. Watch where you're going. Make good strategy calls, and that could win you a championship.
That's exactly what it's going to take. Obviously, no mistakes on pit road, no mistakes on the track, and may the best man win. We'll get a real quick word with a sponsor of the race tonight, Joe Johnson. This is Robert and Ryan in the broadcast booth. Tell us a little bit about IRAPS.
IRAPS is a virtual racing company. We started about 6-8 months ago, wrapping virtual race cars for all types, makes, and models here in iRacing. We've also done a couple real cars as well. We've wrapped a Camping World truck. Yeah, man, we love what we do. If you need a wrap, check us out at facebook.com/IRAPS. That's IWRAPS.
Hey, appreciate it, Joe. Good luck tonight. Hopefully we'll talk to you in Victory Circle.
Thanks, Robert.
All right, Ryan, if you don't mind giving us the starting lineup, and your underdog, Jeff T. Martin, looks like he's on the pole. I'll let you take the whole lineup.
Yes, sir. We were talking about him earlier. Jeff T. Martin, the underdog, at least in my eyes for this whole series, has the pole with a 32.005. Starting on his outside is the number 17 of Gary Sexton. From third on back, we have Ralph Vandervorst in third, Blake Griffith in fourth, Eric Stanford in fifth, and Jack Watson sixth. Sean Callis in seventh, Jeremy Crandall in eighth, followed by Shane Parrish and Gerald Campbell running out your top 10. Starting in 11th is Andrew Kessler, with Ray Richard on his outside in 12th. You just talked to the sponsor of the race, Joe Johnson's going to be starting 13th, with Vernon Margheim in 14th. Chad Payne's going to be 15th, followed by Mark Jackson in 16th. Judd Danielson in 17th, with William Lochner in 18th. Three guys that did not make a qualifying time is Tyler Chark, Ivan Garcia, and Gary Weston.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Again, this is the IRAPS 250 live on All Pro Broadcasting Fans. One more time, we thank Michael D'Amico, and make sure you click the subscribe button. There will be a $200 drawing giveaway later in the year, and you have to be one of the members of All Pro Broadcasting. Real simple. You click the box, you're signed up, you could be the winner of that $200 drawing. Plus, you get to all the alerts for our Domino's 2IJ Racing races, which the last official one will be tomorrow night. You don't want to miss it. And we'll give you details exactly on how to win that large free pizza in just a few minutes. So, Ray, what are you looking for? Excuse me, Ryan, my bad. Hopefully I don't do that more than just that one time, Ryan. What are you looking for in the start of this race?
Whoa, well, that's a good question. I think at the start of the race, you might see a lot of people go into the unknown. During practice, I didn't see a lot of people doing pit parties or race runs around each other. It's going to be interesting coming to the green flag what people are going to be doing going to turn one. And with that said, I believe we're going green this time by.
Sounds good, Ryan. Looks like we do have Jeff T. Martin's going to lead the field down. As the pace car, that beautiful Mustang, is getting ready to pull off of pit road. We got a full field here. This is for bragging rights. Pace car is in. And it looks like Jeff T. Martin gets a great jump on the field, although Gary Sexton gets a pretty good start himself.
Jeff T. Martin leads him down to the turn one. He goes right to the bottom of the racetrack. It's a little bit unknown for these drivers go side by side into these corners. Looks like so far throughout turns 1 and 2, they're going to be single file. Well, it's not single file. Now we're at 3 wide, about mid down the back stretch.
Yeah, that looks like the 45, which would be our good friend Sean Kalist. It's got a whole mirror full of Andrew Kessler. I think Andrew's going to make the pass. Actually, he's a little bit further back than that. Was Sean Kalist, excuse me. And another car looks like.
They're all saying the same. Look, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I think that was Shane Pierce making the pass on Sean Kalist. These guys have got a nice tribute on the hood of their cars, and they are making their way to the front. It looks like Jeremy Crandall's got Shane Pierce on his inside. Behind him, Andrew Kessler, another Aegis entry, is following him on the bottom as they're both trying to make their way around the 73. That would be for 10th, 11th, and 12th position.
Yeah, these guys in the back, they're trying to do whatever they can to get up front. It looks like, oh, we got one car, it looks like he's in the wall. Looks like he should be able to get off the wall okay.
Yeah, I think that might have been the 166. It's either 166 of Ralph Vandervorst. Trying to find that real quick.
Yes, sir. It was the 166 of Ralph.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of right front damage. Damage down the side of that truck, but it doesn't look like it's very intense. Hopefully he can get some of that beat out into the first caution down the road.
And it looks like the guys up front, they're just kind of riding their time, and there's not really a single file race on the racetrack except for the front two. Everybody else is side by side. They're trying to move up.
Yeah, back here in 15th, we got William Locklear in that Monster Energy truck. Looks like he's trying to make some moves, but he's got Joe Johnson and Vernon Margum he's fighting with right now. And Mark Jackson as well in that number 3. Mark Jackson's looking to go on the inside. He's going to fall right behind the 83 of Joe Johnson, that CCR Cross Continent Racing truck. And underneath them in that Monster Energy truck, like I said, William Locklear, who had a really, really fast practice time. Looks like William was first on the board. Obviously, he didn't qualify as well as he wanted to, but he's definitely making moves up to the front as we speak.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of these guys are starting to single file out. I'm kind of waiting to see how long it's going to take these drivers to start moving up the track and practice. That's where a lot of them were running. And it looks like Jesse Martin's actually our leader. Is going to be the first one in the front half to actually move to the top of the racetrack. And with that said, he's going to have a battle for the lead.
It looks like the 17 of Gary Sexton is going to be looking on the inside to get around him. Gary Sexton's driving that Dirty Air Studios Toyota Tundra. And it looks like right now, in your opinion, Ryan, that bottom groove is good when you have brand new tires, but these guys are all going to migrate to the top as the wear wears out the tires.
Yeah, well, they are actually going to turn 3. Gary tried to keep his front end, but he just completely lost his front end, and Jeff was able to get a run off the corner. So definitely these drivers are behind Jeff are having some aero push to these cars.
Exactly. Exactly. I spent quite a few laps here in Happy Hour in this truck, on this track, in these weather conditions. And what I found out is the truck is pretty tight the first 5, 10, 15 laps. Anywhere around that point, it definitely wants to step out on you. Like I said, we set up this weather situation here to be as close to realistic down in Miami, Homestead, as we look like the 51 truck. That would be Eric Stanford. Excuse me, the 24 truck is trying to get around the 17 of Gary Sexton here as they go down the backstretch.
Well, I'm not sure what kind of weather conditions. It must be a hurricane season because we got 30-mile-an-hour winds going down the front straightaway, pushing these trucks right off into turn 1. Definitely giving these guys a lot of speed going to turn 1, which that's one thing they're going to have to worry about as these tires get worn out. Their trucks are still going to keep up the speed because of that wind.
Yeah, absolutely. They're right in front of a huge thunderstorm that's building in. We got temperatures 90 degrees, really, really high humidity, 90% humidity. So that thunderstorm could be here at any moment. Hopefully it holds off to the end of the race, but that's exactly where that 30-mile-an-hour wind is coming from. It looks like Gerald Campbell at number 6. Veterans of Foreign Wars is trying to make a move. Well, Blake Griffin is not able to do it. Matter of fact, he's losing some momentum. And right now he might be getting passed by Jack Watson, that number 66 truck, as Gerald is trying to continue to make that low groove work. He did a lot of practicing down there, and he is one of the favorites to come up and surprise people and win this championship.
Yes, he is. And, I'm watching a lot of these trucks, and they're slowly moving up, which, well, as soon as I say that, they all go back to the white line in turn 3 and 4, so. Apparently these guys know a little bit more about how these trucks are handling more than I do. I probably would have been up the top by now, but I'm not out here racing with these guys.
Yeah, another thing that's going to be interesting to see, Ryan, is how these guys manage their tires. We are on lap 11. Some guys might have drove the first 2-3 laps relatively easy, whereas other guys might have really been driving the wheels off these trucks. So you're going to see how these trucks handle after these 15, 20 laps get put down as the rubber gets built up on the track. So some guys are going to be comers, and some guys are going to be goers based on how hard they ran the first 11 laps.
Yeah, we're starting to see moves. You see Gerald Campbell, he's going backwards now. He's getting passed by one of the first tribute trucks right now on the outside, yeah.
Absolutely, looks like Blake Griffin's making that move. Another truck I wanted to find out about is the William Laughlin, that number 4. Like I said, he was actually second fastest in practice. He must have had a really bad qualifying setup, but he has moved up to 12th. 12th, as he is looking to get around the 45 of Sean Kalis here anytime. Although he's got a mirror full of the 44 of Ray Richer. Ray is one of our veteran drivers who's been with Domino's 2IJ Racing for a long time. Looks like Ray is tonight driving that 44 Pro Auto Service Silverado. Looking good tonight, up in that 12th position. Looks like Ray started in 12th, so he's maintaining, which is a good deal. Behind him, it looks like we got Werner Margam in that Young & Sons Incorporated Toyota Tundra. And that number 33, he is in 13th. Looks like he started in 14th, so he's getting one position. A lot of these trucks have got some great sponsorship on them, and we'll go over those as the race unfolds.
Yeah, and I'm back here looking at these guys running over here in 18th, 19th, and 20th, and they're about a second and a half, or about a second off the pack. I'm wondering if they're just kind of biding their time, hoping for a caution to come out so they can come and get some tires, or if they're just trying to keep the cars clean. Because like I said earlier before, in order to win this race, you're going to have a clean car, and I just wonder if that's what these guys are doing.
It could be, as you know very well, as the fans know, this Homestead Miami track is very, very wide. It's a little bit unlike Charlotte. Charlotte, you've got definitely two good grooves to race in around the track. You can go 3 wide there, although it's really, really risky. Here at Homestead Miami, you can go 3 wide all the way around this track. It has got plenty of room. And right now it looks like the Shane Pearson, that number 81, is taking advantage of that, as he's on the inside of the 73 of Jeremy Crandall. Looks like he's going to be able to pull off that pass, maybe, although he gets a little bit loose. Jeremy gives him plenty of room. Yeah, he almost lost. He's going to get passed by his teammate, the 98 of Andrew Kessler. They're going side by side. It's going to be interesting who gets off the gas first here. Looks like Andrew will let Shane have that position, but Jeremy Crandall does prevail. And Jeremy Crandall, talking about him, that number 73, he always brings an incredible paint scheme. Tonight he's got Stand For Them Because They Fell For You Chevrolet Silverado on the back of that number 73. It's a great looking paint job. You definitely want to check this out, fans. On the front, it looks like he's got Home of the Brave. He's always sponsoring our military. And here at Domino's 2IJ Racing and All Pro Broadcasting, we are 100% behind our veterans. I hope everybody had a great Veterans Day over the weekend. And we love to see these veteran paint jobs on these trucks. Looks like leading in is Jack Watt, Gerald Campbell, Blake Griffin in 4th. Back up front, looks like Gary Sexton has still got a mirror full of the very hungry Eric Stanford, and that number 24 as he is trying to get his way around the 17. Gary Sexton's not making it easy. It looks like both these guys are migrating, like you said, Ryan, up to the top of the track. And right now they're not able to put much time as far as catching up with Jeff T. Martin, our leader. Looks like Jeff had the pole position. And Jeff T. Martin has definitely brought his A game to this championship race here at Homestead, Miami for the Domino's 2IJ Racing Denton Fender Championship. And that's good to see.
Yeah, the whole season comes down to this one race, and if you're in the fight for the championship and you need one race to be good at, this is going to be the one you have to be good at. And I'm watching these guys. These guys look like they're getting a little squirrely off of 4. I actually saw the all top 3 and losing the rear end not a lot, but just a little bit.
Yeah, like I was saying, Ryan, I put down about 20 laps in the happy hour in my truck just to get a feel for what these guys were going through. And yes, anytime after lap 14, 15, 16, the rear end does get loose. I think the wind might have something to do with it once the tires do fall off a bit. So these guys, as they get closer to the 40 lap point of the race, which we're almost halfway there, they are definitely going to want some new tires to be able to gather the trucks back up, as I think these trucks are going to get looser and looser as the run goes on from this point.
Yeah, these trucks are going to get looser and looser. This battle back here from about 5th on the 12th. These guys look like they're going to be real fun if these tires can get wearing off a lot more. I don't think these guys left each other's bumpers since the start of this green flag. They've all just been clamored together.
Yeah, they are definitely trying to get every position they can early in the race. This is a long race, a little bit longer than normal. It's 167 laps, fans, and at this point we're going to give you all the details on how you can win that large, free 3-topping Domino's pizza. It is real simple. The first fan who can accurately predict the winner of this race by halfway of 167, right? I'm going to use your math skills. I'm thinking it's around 84, 83. Does that sound right?
About 84, yeah.
Yeah, by the end of lap 84, the first fan who can accurately predict the winner of this race, you can text 919-883-7497. Or if you're watching on the live chat, you can say, I choose this driver. Don't pick 2. Don't pick 3 drivers. Take your time. Decide who you want to pick. If you pick 2 or 3 drivers, I can't honor all those picks. It's not fair to the other fans. So make one pick whenever you're comfortable before lap 84. You might want to see what happens as things shake out. You will receive a free large 3-topping Domino's pizza from any store in the United States of America or Canada. We've given away over 45 of these pizzas this year in 2017. We're happy to do it, and we'll give you the update on who wins that at the end of the race.
Did you tell these drivers there might be a rainstorm coming? Because I hear back on about 5th place, these guys are. I'm still watching this battle. This is a fun battle to watch.
It sure is, and we're going to go through that real quick. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I'm about to say, they go off into turn 1. You watch them, they literally all go in all different directions. One goes high, one goes low, one's middle. Like, it's so amazing just to watch and see how many grooves are actually coming in, and we're almost 25 laps of this race.
Yes, sir. We'll go through the field real quick. We got your leader, Jeff T. Martin, in that number 15 Silverado, comfortably out front. Behind him, Eric Stanford has made the pass around Gary Sexton. He is in that Toyota Tundra number 24, Eric Stanford. Third, we'd have Gary Sexton of Dirty Earth Studios Tundra 17. And then back and forth, Blake Griffin. He's kind of up here by himself in the CCR Cross Country Racing number 7 Tundra. And then here's that group you're talking about. Back in 5th, we got Jack Watson of Southeast Motorsports Silverado 66. Right behind him, we got 2x2. We got Shane Parrish in the number 81. Right behind him, Gerald Campbell in the Veterans of Foreign War Silverado. Those guys were side by side for a minute. It looks like we've got, looking on the inside, Jeremy Crandall, who definitely saved some tires. He's in that number 73 Silverado. Talked about him, his sponsors, and his paint job a minute ago. He's in 8th. Back in 9th, we got William Loeffler, who's caught all these guys in that Monster Energy number 4 Chevrolet Silverado. And don't look now, but here comes the 98 of Andrew Kessler with a huge room on the inside. He's in 10th position. Looks like he's going to try to make that pass on the 73 of Jeremy Crandall. And don't look now, but we have also got Sean Kalis in that beautiful Marathon Petroleum Products 45 Toyota Tundra. It's another Aegis entry into the race. He's back in 11th, but he's trying to make a pass on Jeremy Crandall as well. This is exactly some great racing like you just said.
I don't know how you were able to keep talking. I was holding my breath watching Jeremy Crandall go sideways. And we have a caution on the racetrack.
Yes, give us just a couple seconds, fans, and we'll get that replay pulled up and find out exactly what happened here. Looks like we got the number 9 of Chad Payne in that Office HQ truck. We're going to see exactly what happened real quick here.
Yeah, like 2 drivers, him and the 166, I do believe, were just going for the same piece of real estate.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like the 9 is just barely drifting up. The 166 is there. Either the spotter for the 9 didn't let him know he wasn't quite clear, or the spotter for the 166 didn't necessarily let him know anything either. Those 2 guys got together. Looks like they both got a little bit of damage, but I think they're both going to be able to recover, get some damage beat out. And that's going to give all these drivers a chance to get those new tires and some more racing fuel. And Ryan, we're going to take our first commercial break, fans. You are watching the IRAPS 250 live on All Pro Broadcasting. We'll be back in just a minute.
and gentlemen, before they go fast and start to power slide, we salute you with the big blocks 4 wide. Race fans, it's showtime.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Domino's 2YJ Racing Didn't Finish Truck Series finale here at Homestead, Miami. You just caught the restart of the race. We're watching the IRAPS 250. It does look like leader of the race is Eric Stanford, as he does get around Jeff T. Martin. What did you see there? Yeah, can't quite hear you, Ryan. You must have a couple of technical issues. So it looks like Eric Stanford in that number 24 is taking the lead, but Jeff T. Martin is going to be fighting his way back to try to get back around him.
Got me.
Sounds good. Go ahead, Ryan.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to mention Jeremy Crandall actually blew through his pit box that caution, which he was the leader at the restart, and he pretty much is back in ninth now trying to hold on. He's still on his original tire from the start.
Yeah, that's not what you want to look for, and that's not exactly what he wanted for sure. He's actually hoping and praying for an early caution.
I think he just ended up clipping the wall just a little bit right there in turn one.
Yeah, so he's going to be dropping like a rock, and hopefully he will be able to get down pit road and get some service on his truck. And back up front, like I said, Eric Stanford did take the lead from Jeff T. Martin. And here's a good question for you, Ryan. We had our first round of pit stops. Everybody's got brand new tires except for, like we said, the 73 Jeremy Crandall. Do you think Jeff T. Martin might be saving his equipment here on the first few laps of this run and just kind of see what Eric Stanford's got?
I don't know. The few times I've raced with Jeff T. Martin, he's kind of a, I don't want to say oddball, because you don't know what he's going to do. So he could be saving or he could be pushing. We don't know. If I was in that situation, I'd definitely be saving. But right now he is running in second, so it just depends on how much he's willing to push that issue.
Yeah, we do have a side-by-side battle back here for 6th and 7th. Shane Parrish in that number 81 got right against the 6 of Gerald Campbell. He decided to get out of the gas, save his truck and his equipment for later in this race. It is early on, as he is getting some competition now by the 3 of Martin Jackson on the outside of that 81. So some of these guys on brand new tires are trying to make that inside groove work, whereas other guys are staying up top early in this run to see if that can maybe salvage a little bit of tire wear for later in the race.
Well, we still have well over 100 laps to go. I think most of these guys are trying to figure out what their car or trucks are going to do over the long run. The first run, we saw what their cars were doing when they run the bottom. Now you see how some of them are actually moving up to the top. So they're definitely experimenting with what their trucks are going to do later on the run, and they're going to use that for the last probably 60 laps of this race.
Exactly. Right now, it's looking like at the beginning of the race, that low groove was working good on brand new tires. I'm not so sure it's working that good now, even though we're only 4 or 5 laps into this second run. The guys that are trying that inside groove, Shane Parrish was trying it. I don't think he was able to complete the pass. Joe Campbell just now in the number 6. Veteran of Foreign Wars truck was trying to do the exact same thing to get around the number 7 of Blake Griffin. He's still trying that line. I don't know that it's going to work. It looks like the 7 of Blake Griffin has still got that momentum on the high side, as does Mark Jackson back right behind him, as Shane Parrish is going to decide to fall back in line at this point. Another driver. Yeah, sorry about that. Another driver trying that low line is the 4 of William Locklear. He's right beside Shane Parrish in that 81. It'll be interesting to see if William in that number 4 Monster Energy truck will be able to make the low line work and get around him. It looks like it's almost 3 wider going in the corner.
Yeah, it looks like when the trucks are on their outside, they're just pulling that air around, and they just can't really complete the pass. A lot of these guys, what it's looking like, they're going to the top in turn 1 and 2 and dropping right back to the bottom of 3 and 4. So it definitely makes for a lot of interesting ways to pass, and it looks like you really have to think about your passes. You can't just go in and make them.
Exactly. I'm not even sure you can set somebody up for one, because every time so far I've seen somebody dive in on the low side, they have actually lost positions. It looks like the 4 William Locklear was not able to complete the pass. The number 81 of Shane Parrish is still trying to make that inside groove work to get around the number 3 of Mark Jackson. I'm not sure if you've seen anything of looking right now. The 4 of William Locklear is diving again down to the inside of the 81 of Shane Parrish. It'll be interesting to see if he can get the power down and complete this pass. It looks like the 81 has got the momentum off the corner as he's following the number 3 of Mark Jackson. And William Locklear is going to continue to try to make that pass. And I think Shane's going to let him have it as he gets out of the gas, knowing that he does not want to have any opportunity for damage to that number 81 truck early here in the run.
Yeah, well, going into turn 3, he was also being slowed up by, it looks like it's the 3 on the outside right there, that William Locklear. Looks like he's going to complete the pass right there and move into the 7th position, or 6th position.
Yeah, good for him. And now it looks like yes, sir, Shane Parrish is going to try that exact same or similar move. And for the 3rd or 4th time, for about 4 or 5 laps in a row, the 81 is going to try to pick this pass on the 3 of Mark Jackson. He's side by side going through the corner. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to continue to have that power down as Mark Jackson 3 powers back on the outside. I don't think we're missing anything up front, as we still have Eric Stanford, the leader.
Yeah, I went back and started watching up front because I saw Jeff Martin got real close to that rear bumper of the Eric Stanford. I actually thought he hit him, but he got just enough just to intimidate him a little bit. Rattle his cage, as Dale would say.
Exactly. So I think Jeff T. Martin might have been saving some equipment, some of his tires, as he is battling back right now, trying to get that run on the inside of the, actually he falls back in line behind the number 24 of Eric Stanford. So this is going to be a battle I think we're going to watch all night long, as so far the 24 and the 15 have shown to be the fastest trucks on the track as we speak.
Yeah, look at the 15 actually is the fastest truck. It's just a matter of, is he saving tires, is he saving equipment? And he doesn't really have the clean air to really help them. Eric Stanford has that clean air in front of them, and they are getting really loose off the floor. And it looks like Jeff's going to be looking to the bottom, and then he's going to go right back behind Eric Stanford right here on the front stretch going to turn 1.
Yeah, we look through the field. Most of these guys are single file. The ones that were driving hard those first 10 laps have definitely worn off the good on those tires. And we go back to Jeremy Crown, number 73. He's fallen all the way back to that 21st position. Unfortunately for him, he did not get that early caution to get back down pit road. So Jeremy's going to have a fuel issue here coming up shortly, I'm afraid. And we absolutely his tires are shot.
Yeah, and coming out of turn 4 right there, Jeff T. Martin just stripped the wall just a little bit off before.
Yeah, I don't think he got much damage at all, but obviously he lost a little bit of momentum, and hopefully he will learn from that slight mistake and keep his truck out of the wall. As you know, Ryan, You want a truck with 100% on this kind of a track with high speeds. You want a truck with 100% perfection in your right front fender and especially your right rear fender coming off. So the downforce, the side force, I think they call it. Ryan, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's what you need to get through these corners with as much momentum and speed as possible.
Yeah, the way that the aero and how the air work has come such a long way in technology with these racecraft, I guess you could call them now, with these race cars. And it's just come such a long way that you have a little bit of a dent, it could drop you 2 or 3 miles an hour, and that might have actually happened to Jeff Martin, because he was consistently faster than 24, but it looks like now he's just kind of set in the pace about 10 car lengths behind him.
Yes, and then fans, if we look back to the looks like the 4th and 5th position, Gerald Campbell in that veteran of Foreign Wars machine was getting some heat from the 66 of Jack Watts. Looks like Jack was not able to complete that pass, as we've seen time and time again. William Locklear, although, has definitely made his way forward. I think he restarted after these pit stops in about 12th, maybe 10th. He's all the way up to 6th. And got a bad feeling, though, Williams not going to have any kind of traction or grip out of those tires in another 5 or 10 laps, because he has definitely used them up early.
Yeah, there's not a lot of single file going on this racetrack still. It's still pretty amazing how these guys are still able to run on that bottom line and still, like, gain. 4-car of William Lochner has been committed to that bottom side. He just made another pass. It looks like he's being crossed over right now. But the last few laps, he's been committed to that bottom. He's not coming off of that bottom anytime soon from the looks of it.
Yeah, he definitely made a lot of passes. That crossover by the 66 of Jack Watts looks like it's going to work. He might even get 2 trucks as he's trying to get around the 6 of Gerald Campbell as they scream down this back stretch here at 170, 175, 100, almost 178 miles an hour going into the corner. Obviously, these trucks have lost some speed due to the tire wear and to the slick track conditions we have tonight here at Homestead.
Oh man, these trucks are driving good. They ain't slick.
Yeah, I tell you what, these drivers are also doing a whale of a job behind the wheel. I know these trucks side by side going in these corners are coming off. Maintaining the truck is one thing. Maintaining it beside another truck to make a pass or try to make a pass without any contact is a whole other issue. As the number 4, William Locklear, dives in there on the inside of the 6 of Gerald Campbell. Gerald's going to try to do that crossover, but I think William is going to have that momentum on the outside. Although Gerald's going to try to make it work on the inside here. And Williams going for more.
Yeah, this battle for 5th has not stopped. I've been consistently watching it. I don't think these guys know where they want to be at.
Yeah, it looks like right now William Locklear has made that pass and he's cleared the 66. He's setting his sights on the number 17 of Gary Sexton, who I know is one of the smartest drivers in the series. Got a lot of smart drivers, got a lot of very talented drivers. They know how to manage their fuel, they know how to manage their tires and pit stops. But William Locklear is definitely showing he came to the race tonight, just like Jeff T. Martin, to win this championship. No matter what's happened before tonight, these two guys are definitely bringing their A game.
Speaking of championship, one of our championship contenders is the number 73, Jeremy Crandall, just hit pit road to get his 4 tires and full tank of fuel.
Yeah, I tell you what, now, unlike before this lap, Jeremy Crandall is hoping that we have a long green flag run, so everybody has to cycle through and make their pit stops. If the caution were to come out anytime soon, that would definitely ruin Jeremy's chances.
Well, he's about to come out side by side. He should get his lap back pretty quick. He came out almost side by side with our leader, Eric Stanford. So if the new tires make a difference, right now we're going to see how big of a difference new tires are going to make. So if he can hurry up and get his lap back, definitely, like you said, the long flag run is going to be in his favor. So I wouldn't count that 73 out just yet.
Absolutely. We still have over 100 laps to go in this race, and he knows that. He's one of the smartest guys as far as strategy goes. He made a simple mistake on pit road on their first caution, but he's going to be driving the wheels off of this truck to try to get all these other trucks in front of him past, including the leader of Eric Stanford, to get his lap back.
Looks like he's going to go ahead and let him go. He knew that Jeremy came out pit road and was a lot faster.
Yes, sir. We got some other drivers side by side. We got Blake Griffin at number 7, right on the outside of the 6 Gerald Campbell. They almost made a tad of contact, but not quite. Blake Griffin at number 7, CCR Cross Continent Toyota Tundra, is trying to maintain that position in front of the 6 Gerald Campbell. And from what I understand, Gerald Campbell just got married in the last week. He was able to get a win in one of the stages to make it into this chase format. And I'm not sure what he's thinking about more, his newlywed and his honeymoon, or driving this truck tonight and get a championship. Hopefully, for his sake, to win this championship, she is in the other room and not in the same room all over him, if you know what I mean.
Shoot, racing always comes first, man. I've been racing since I was like 7. Yeah, no, racing always comes first. Other things can wait.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He can have a big celebration tonight after he wins it.
Have your honeymoon and your championship at the same time. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, hopefully we get a chance to talk to him, not only about his race tonight, but about his wedding and honeymoon. But we might just stay on the racing topic.
A little bit.
You know, like you just said, Jeremy Crandall, and that's 73. He has been able to get around the 24 of Eric Stanford.
And a little less damage on the Jeff Martin's actually taking a toll, and he's being passed by, looks like William Lochner and Gary Sexton.
Yeah, absolutely. So he is one that's definitely looking for, asking for, hoping for a caution as soon as possible, so he can get that damage repaired on this 1.5 mile unique oval here at Homestead, Miami. Once he makes that pit stop under caution, he should be able to get this fender dented out, and he should be okay.
He's still in the championship position. One thing that I was actually looking at, the 24 car of Eric Stanford is actually not a championship truck. So right now, if the race was to end, Gary Sexton would be your champion.
Absolutely. That's yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like these guys, right now, in theory, the championship race is for second place right now, because Eric Stanford about a half a corner go, and actually, now that I say that, here comes Will Lochner in the number 4, another championship driver, still on the bottom of the racetrack. Still don't know how he's doing that. He's not making a pass here for second place.
Absolutely. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, fans, and we do want you to know that we have got 12 drivers in this field who are eligible for the championship. Real quick, I'll go through them, not in any particular order. Gerald Campbell in the 6, Shane Parrish 81, Gary Sexton 17, Jack Watt 66, Jeremy Crandall 73, Blake Griffin 7, Andrew Kessler 98, Tyler Chalk 07, Judd Danielson 85, Jeff T. Martin 15, Vernon Margam 33, and William Lockman in the 4. So if any of those drivers finish, whichever of those drivers finishes the furthest ahead in the field, they don't have to win the race. We can have 2 non-championship drivers finish first or second, and one of those 12 I just mentioned finish third. That driver will win the championship. But Eric Stanford is trying to make a statement that he might not have made the chase, he might not have made the championship round, but he is wanting to win this race and prove to everybody that he's going to be a serious threat in 2018.
I know that I raced with him on the every other Thursday nights in the top shelf, and he's always a threat there. You know, get a little momentum for tomorrow night.
Absolutely. We will be having another fantastic championship race tomorrow night in the Domino's TYJ Racing Top Shelf Cup Series live on All Pro Broadcasting. Tomorrow night will be the Scoops Ice Cream 250. You don't want to miss that. And it will be right here on All Pro Broadcasting. You'll get one more chance to win your final free pizza for 2018. And we're going to bring that to you live with all the excitement that you've got tonight.
You were talking about earlier about green flag pit stops. Do you roughly know how many laps these drivers can go on fuel?
Yes, Ryan, I heard from a few of the drivers in the happy hour practice they can go between 40 and 50 laps on a tank here. About when did we restart after that caution? I think caution was on around 25, right?
I believe so. I think we went green with about around 27 or 30, I do believe. And we've run about 30 laps, so these guys' lap times have slowed down considerably on these older tires. And I didn't know if some of these guys would, especially some guys in the back, if they would try to short pit to get that extra track position and, you know, hope for the best, hope for late caution, kind of put themselves on the same page as Jeremy Crandall.
I tell you what, Ryan, that is one thing that makes these crew chiefs and these spotters, actually the crew chiefs, a lot smarter than me. I know a little bit about calling a race, putting a lead together, but I'm not real good if you want to know how far to go on fuel, if you want to short pit or not short pit. These guys could be splitting it up in 4 different pit stops. Obviously, that could bite you when the caution comes out. You can't predict when the caution is going to come out, if it will. But so far, I am thoroughly impressed by these talented drivers tonight with only 1 caution so far. And as they run, like you said, William Locklear and that number 2 position would be the champion if the race ended as we speak. But we got right at 103 laps to go. Another thing I want to remind you fans, other than thank you so much for following us all 2017 here at Domino's TYJ Racing and All Pro Broadcasting, is to remind you to get your picks in. You got to allow 20 laps to get your pick in on who you think will win this race. All you have to do, fans, is text 919-883-7497. Or if you're in the live chat, say, I choose this driver to win. Only pick 1 driver, not 2 or 3. And we will let you know at the end of the race who wins that large free 3-topping pizza from Domino's. Carry out only. I didn't mention that before. We do not bring them to you. That's for any city in the United States of America and or Canada. Looks like the 15 truck, sorry about that, of Ryan, the 15 truck of Jeff T. Martin has had enough. He's coming on down pit road to get some work done. And hopefully he'll have plenty of time in the race left to get back out there with the fresh tires with the repaired truck defenders knocked out to make a run at the championship here as we follow the 15 of Jeff T. Martin down pit road. Ryan, keep an eye on the leaders here as we're going to do a quick pit stop call to see how the 15 truck manages on pit road. I don't think he can afford to spend too much time here on pit road, but the 15 of Jeff T. Martin in that 6-pack Chevrolet Silverado comes to a stop perfectly in his pit stall. Looks like the right side's going up. He's getting 2 Goodyear Eagles on the right.
Passing him now in turn 1.
Yes, sir. He's getting 2 cans Snucker Racing Fuel left side tires, and he's going to sit there for just a couple of seconds. It looks like to get some damage repaired. I think he's probably figuring with the crew chief, if he can get back out and stay 1 lap down, he might have a chance to get that lap back under a caution.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the rest of the field, and Jeff said that he just couldn't control the truck anymore before he came down pit road, so I'm wondering if a lot of these other guys are actually in the same boat. How hard are these cars or trucks getting to drive? Or is anybody else going to be pitting? But it looks like nobody else is following suit. It looks like they're all just going to probably run it out of gas before they come down pit road. And as I say that, William Lochner's not giving up. He has caught Eric Stanford a considerable amount. He's closed that gap in probably 3 or 4 seconds, and I'll probably say with the next 3 or 4 laps, he's going to be on his bumper.
Absolutely. And he's doing this, driving this truck, the number 4 Monster Energy entry tonight. He's been driving this truck hard. Not easy. This Chevy Silverado, William Locklear, I am thoroughly impressed how he's been able to pass trucks on the bottom, on the top, and make grounds, even with tires that are worn out. So my hat is off to him, and I'm not giving anybody any advice on who to pick, but I'm very excited to see that it's going to be hard to call who's going to win this race. We got a lot of players tonight that can win it.
Yeah, I'm looking at his line a little bit. He's right on the, well, I don't want to say right on the bottom, but he's about a lane up in 3 and 4, or 1 and 2. But 3 and 4, most of these guys have gone to the top or bottom, and he's about middle. So he's doing the complete opposite of what Eric's doing, and that's how you have to catch somebody. You can't ride on their tire track, so you have to do something different, and he's doing something different. And he's catching them.
That's absolutely right. Lucky for both of these guys, we've got right at, looks like about 90, 97 laps to go. So they're learning, like you said earlier, they're learning from this run what the truck's going to do with new tires, what it's going to do with old tires, and they're going to put that into practice, into play in their strategy when we have 10, 15, 20 laps to go at the conclusion of this race.
And here comes William. I knew it wasn't going to take long before he got to the rear bumper of Eric, so. I'm not sure how much William was actually saving his stuff because it looked like he was pushing, but he's still pushing from the looks of it. And Shane Parrish has moved up to third, and I know he was saving some of his stuff because Jared Campbell was trying to make a pass for that third position. As you said, here comes the number 4, William Lochner, down pit road.
Yes, he got everything he could out of that, and while we got a chance, talk about Eric Stanford real quick. We're going to do a quick Domino's driver profile. Eric Stanford is from Glenfield, New York. He's driving that number 24 machine for Aegis Motorsports. His main sponsors typically are ES Motorsports and ES Billiards and Pepsi, but he has got that great looking paint job on there tonight. And I think the 6 of Gerald Campbell has probably already come down pit road and got tires as he is going around the 24 of Eric Stanford. It looks like Eric Stanford is coming down pit road this time. He's also being followed by a teammate, Shane Parrish. So the number 1, number 2 running trucks are coming down pit road. Again, Ryan, I've said this numerous times, to win one of these Domino's 2YJ Racing races, you have got to be perfect on all different facets of the race, including these pit stops. You can't speed on pit road. You can't have a penalty on pit road. You can't have any kind of lug nuts missing. You got to get all 4 tires on solid. You got to have 2 full cans of racing fuel. You can't drop a fuel can. You got to come off pit road with no penalties. You got to merge on the backstretch without having any contact. And you've actually got to be fast. Your pit crew's got to be fast. You got to have one of the fastest pit stops with no mistakes. That's one ingredient on top of the strategy that you've got to have, not to mention a fast driver and a fast truck with good equipment to win this race.
One thing here, you go talk about pit stops, one thing here that's unique, we have a access road. I don't think there's any other track on the schedule where you're required to go down the access road or you'll be black flagged, and Homestead's one of them. You have to go down these access roads, and you have to be really careful going into the pit road and out of it, because these access roads they're not grippy, they're not driven on a lot, so they're going to be slick, and you can easily lose a race just by exiting pit road.
Absolutely, and we're following Sean Kalis, just came down pit road, got 4 Goodyear Eagles, 2 cans of Sunoco Racing Fuel, another Domino's driver profile. Sean Kalis is from Brighton, Illinois. His team is Aegis Motorsports. He's got 10 years racing experience in the sim. Tonight on his truck, he's got that beautiful Marathon Petroleum Corporation paint job on that Toyota Tundra. He's got a win at Daytona in sim, K&N National Series win. He's got a Big Class Open win at Talladega, and Sean has come a long way in the last 6 months as he joined our Domino's 2YJ Racing Fender Truck Series. He's learned a lot. He is fast now. I want to give special thanks to his family, his wife Barbara, his son Troy, Tallarico Signs and Designs, his friends, Laid Back Outlawed Racing, and also Aegis Motorsports. Good to see him on the track having a good run.
As you were doing the drive profile, we actually had our leaders. Oh, we got a caution out. We have a caution out while our leaders are actually on pit road changing tires.
Yes, fans, give it just a second or two to pull up exactly what happened under this caution. Are you seeing anything there on the track?
I'm looking, I don't see.
I think it could have been. It could have been the 72. We could have had somebody out of fuel on the track. I think somebody might have run it dry on the track. We're researching right now, fans, to find out exactly what happened. I know the 72 of Ivan Garcia was really slow on the backstretch. I'm not sure if he brought out the caution.
Ivan Garcia, yeah, right there. He went down one of the access roads that they actually use for the road course, and ended up just running out of gas and parking it right down there.
Yes,
Unfortunately, that's that a caution will come out with a truck that low off the racetrack, but
yeah, we don't see any other spins or damage on the track, so this is going to change everything, fans. As half the drivers have made pit stops, half the drivers have not. We're going to take this opportunity to have our second quick commercial break, fans. You're watching the IRAPS 250 live and on Pro Broadcast. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting. Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on, automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac, and never feel powerless.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Domino's CYJ Racing Dennet Fenders IRAPS 250. We're going to give you a very unique view. It's called Crank It Up. We're going to be following the in-cockpit view of the number 17 of Gary Sexton, restarting 6th. We'll see how he can make moves coming through the field here as we do a restart here. We're going to be quiet, let you crank up your surround sound stereo systems and enjoy this ride for a couple laps in the cockpit of the 17. All right, fans, I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to do that at least 1 or 2 more times tonight, as you saw the 17 Gary Sexton fighting through traffic there. It was an interesting restart there. He was able to give back a position or two on that restart. A couple drivers checked up, and it looks like we still have out front the number 4 Monster Energy of William Locklear. Will this be William Locklear's race to win? And unfortunately, fans, I forgot to mention to you about getting your picks in. Obviously, the picking your driver for the free Domino's pizza has ended. We'll let you know the updates on who wins that free pizza after the race is over. But it looks like we've got a train behind the number 4 of William Locklear, including the number 24 of Eric Stanford, the number 81 of Shane Parrish, and the number 98 of Andrew Kessler, all driving those Toyota Tundras. These guys are definitely making their move up to the front. Good moves for all 3 of those drivers. They've been a great addition to our 2017 Domino's TYJ Racing Series. And I'll tell you what, the picks are over. But if you picked one of those 3 drivers, again, that would be Eric Stanford, the 24 Toyota Tundra, Shane Parrish in the 81 Toyota Tundra, and Andrew Kessler in that number 98 Toyota Tundra. All Aegis Motorsports drivers. It would not be a bad choice. Behind him, we got Gerald Campbell in the number 6, veteran of Foreign Wars, who always brings an incredible paint scheme to the track with a beautiful bald eagle with American flag wings on the hood of that truck as he's making a move, trying to get up around the number 98. Not quite able to do it. Ryan, what are you seeing on the track?
From the restart, it sounds like a lot of these drivers' patience is over. Just coming from some of the voice chat, it seems like a lot of these guys, they just, a lot of moves on the restart, not a lot of them were agreeing with, and I still think it's early to lose patience, but I mean, as we see, we have some battles on the racetrack for the 4th position right now. It's going to get interesting as these laps wind down. These drivers are already getting mad at each other. And that was too close to comfort with Garrett Campbell trying to make a pass on the outside and actually complete the pass.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. You are a real race car driver in real life, so you know what it's like under the helmet in the heat of the battle, especially for a championship. You don't have to give us all the details of your career, but I know you've got extensive experience driving the real world in race vehicles. And I would imagine, halfway through this championship race on a restart, I'm not surprised all these guys are getting a little bit hot under the collar.
Just a little bit. It's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, we're coming up roughly about 75 laps to go. That's still a long way, being that we just passed not being past halfway, but we're all at 91 now. And like I said, about 75 to go, so still a bunch of laps to go in this big track.
Absolutely, and again, this Homestead Miami track gives you plenty of lanes to pass on. And with this unique weather setup they have tonight, these guys are putting on one well of a show. And one thing I wanted to give everybody is an update on the number 15 of Jeff T. Martin. He is back in 8th position. I think he got some of that damage beat out. He qualified on the pole. He led a boatload of laps. And he's going to have an uphill battle, I think, to fight his way through the field unless he can pull off some kind of strategy. He was doing great with the lead, but now he's back in dirty air. I'm not sure if he can get back to the front without something unusual happening as far as strategy. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, like I said earlier, track position is going to be king here. Just because there's multiple grooves does not mean that you can make passes on those grooves. And unfortunately, I think Jeff is learning the hard way right now what that really means. Or he could be, completely blindsiding me. He could be saving his stuff. So in the next 10, 15 laps, he's going to be in the lead. So, I don't know. So, I mean, he's looking to try to make a pass right now on it. Looks like it is Blake Griffith, the number 7. So, I guess it's going to be a matter of time, really, to see what he can do. And going back, a lot of us, never mind. I saw the 73 Jeremy Crandall back there, and he's actually the first car 1 lap down. So if there is a caution flag, and soon he will be the lucky dog, and he can get right back up in the championship fight.
Yeah, I was going to mention, you never know what these drivers are doing. The crew chiefs might be telling Jeff T. Martin, that number 15, save your stuff here. We still got one more pit stop we have to make. We're going to get the final repairs made to your truck and get you back out on pit road in front of these guys. You just never know what's going on as far as their strategy goes, but and I'm absolutely pulling for Jeff T. Martin. He's been an underdog. He's put on a great race so far, except for that one mistake getting in the wall. What's happening up front for the lead?
Oh, well, William Lochner worked his way up to the front. He made a short pit stop and got the lead, and, you know, we had the caution, and he's still a leader, and he's still doing the same thing he's been doing the whole race. He's bottoming 1 and 2 and about middle 3 and 4, complete opposite of everybody else. Still got the 2 Aegis cars of Eric Stanford and Shane Parrish right behind him. And Gerald Campbell, I mean, he's kind of split them. He's trying to make a pass right now on Shane Parrish. And he's trying to split the Aegis cars, kind of get that train out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can see the 6 of Gerald Campbell doing that. He has learned how to race these trucks, improve his skill and his driving line. And it would not shock me at all to see the number 6 of Gerald Campbell break up that train of the Aegis Motorsports trucks. Right now he's third in position of those 3 Aegis trucks. And other than that, like you said, we definitely got William Lochner basically putting on a clinic right now. Cannot wait to talk to him after the race is over. What are you seeing a little bit further back? Do you see any side-by-side battles so far?
Yeah, that last lap, it looked like Jeff wanted to go out and make out the wall. He just gave it a little bit of a kiss, but I think he should still be good. He's really trying to push that truck more than that truck's willing to give him, so I'm not going to count him out yet, but if he hits the wall anymore, I just don't think the aerodynamics on that truck is going to help him at all.
Yeah, we already know these trucks are down on horsepower compared to the Xfinity cars and the top shelf Cup cars. These trucks, from what I understand, are pushing about, 650 horsepower. So you get any kind of aerodynamic damage, it's definitely going to hurt you. And you definitely got to be able to work the brake and the gas going through these corners and maintain control of these trucks, get the most momentum. And most of these guys, I don't think they go wide out with fresh tires on this track, except for maybe 1 or 2 laps. Not even that even.
I'd be impressed if they did that.
Yeah, that's more like Daytona or Talladega, and we're definitely looking forward to 2018. By the way, fans, I did want to mention a couple things on that Gerald Campbell. We did mention that he got married, we think, in the last week or 2. We know that for a fact. We'll talk to him after the race, hopefully. But Gerald Dunn, with his driver profile, is in that number 35 veteran of Foreign Wars. Excuse me, the number 6. He is from Sebring, Florida. His team is Aggressive Eagle. His sponsors are Veterans of Foreign Wars. Again, we appreciate and respect all veterans, past, present, and in the future, for all of the sacrifices they and their families have given to give us a free United States of America. One thing we often take for granted, I know I've been known to do this and take things for granted as well as most people. We have the freedoms to live in a country that's not a dictatorship. We can make choices, have the freedoms, send our kids to the schools we want to send them to. We've got lots of choices that most countries out there do not have, and it would not be that way if it wasn't for the blood that was shed on the battlefields by our veterans. And we want to give a great big shout out. We want all you fans to always remember Domino's TYJ Racing and All Pro Broadcasting for backing our veterans 100% without a doubt. Saluting the flag, saluting the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're always going to be that way. Gerald Campbell has got 15 years of legend racing in Florida, and don't forget, in 2012, Gerald Campbell was the Pro Truck champion in Florida. So he knows how to do this and get it done. Hope you're not tearing up on me over there, Ryan. I know that little speech was emotional.
Yeah, you know, like you said, a lot of us just take things for granted. I know I do, and I live, the city I live in is home to the largest military base on the East Coast, besides Florida. And I mean, it's military left and right here, and there's so many times you take things for granted, you just don't think about it. Like, for me, a military person's an everyday thing, so you don't think to thank them every day because you see them every day. And it's like you said, don't take things for granted because we do live in, at least in my opinion, the greatest country in the world. It doesn't matter what your political views are or race, color, gender, etc., etc. We're all Americans, and I think, like you said, Blake has done a good job of supporting that, and also Jeremy Crandall is number 73. He always comes up with a military paint scheme on his trucks.
Very well said, Ryan. I appreciate that. And we've got some serious battles on the track now. It looks like the 17, don't look now, but Gary Sexton in that 7th position. He's caught back up to the Andrew Kessler truck. These guys were talking just a little bit back and forth on the radio earlier. Hopefully these guys realize we got about 63 laps to go in this race, and they're going to keep it clean. But look, don't look now. The 15 and Jeff T. Martin has caught these guys for 8th position. If he can get around these 3 trucks in front of him, that's going to move him up to 5th. I don't know if Jeff T. Martin has learned a little bit different line, or if he just saved his tires those first, I don't know, 5, 10 laps of this run. But he is up here in the thick of it again.
Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! And sorry about that. I was watching Jeff T. Martin, and I was actually about to make a comment on him trying to make a pass, and looks like the 98, and I think that was Gary Sexton actually ended up wrecking off the floor.
Yes, fans, give us a second to bring this back up. These guys were definitely racing hard, and they definitely got together at the exact same time. They both spun out. We're going to do a serious review of this and find out exactly what happened, bring you back up to date. And we're going to take our 3rd commercial break real quick. You are watching the IRAPS 250 live on All Pro Broadcasting. We'll be right back. Welcome back, race fans, to Domino's TYJ Racing. IRAPS 250. Ryan, what did you see on those pit stops?
Looked like everybody came in, got 4 tires, full tank of gas. Said we're about 60 laps, or no, I was going to say these guys might try to make it on fuel, don't think they can. Really nothing out of the ordinary. It looks like Jeff had to go and make a little bit of minor repair to his front end because he got caught up in that. Other than that, I mean, your running order is going to be about the same, roughly.
Awesome. It looks like we got another minute or two. Let's get one of our favorite drivers up here, Ivan Garcia. This is Ryan and Robert in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy, Ivan?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I wanted to ask you how your race is going, Ivan.
Oh, man, it's a couple of mistakes by me. And I didn't know I was going to penalize for that. Other than that, good race. Going good. Stop.
Sounds good, Ivan. We'll let you get back to it. It's been an awesome season. Make sure you finish the race out clean, and we'll talk to you soon. Enjoy your pit stop. Thank you. Well, Ryan, that's one of our veteran drivers. We're going to do something similar we did before. We're going to do a Domino's TYJ Racing All-Pro Broadcasting, crank it up from a cockpit view, and this time we're going to go back to our 10th place driver, Judd Danielson, 85, to see what happens.
Ooh, we going real far back. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, this will be an interesting one. I think Judd is having a few handling issues with this truck. Hopefully he got it up to speed or back to where he wants it on this track with adjustments, and we'll see exactly what happens, fans. Crank up your surround sound system. Enjoy this crank it up cockpit view from the number 85 CCR of Judd Danielson.
Green flag, green flag.
I tell you what, race fans, as we watch Judd Danielson there trying to make some moves, I think he passed a couple of trucks. We have got the lead of the race heating up as we've got the number 4 of William Locklear all over the bumper of Eric Stanford in that number 24. We've also got battles behind him, Blake Griffith and Gerald Campbell. They are side by side as they're coming around the corner trying to figure out who's going to have third position, as we're going to come up on about 50. Looks like 50 or 43 laps to go. I got to get my calculator out because I was not good in math. I flunked 8th grade 3 times. 54 to go from our communication booth that also Michael D'Amico runs. That guy does 100 things at one time. What are you seeing, Ryan?
About same thing you saw. Oh, this thing getting air out before. Ivan Garcia, we just talked to him, and he's being put another lap down right now. There are a couple side-by-side battles in doing so. You know, William Lochner, he's definitely making Eric Stanford know that he's there. He's not backing down a little bit. And right behind him, we actually have Jared Campbell. He's just kind of riding there. He was able to clear Blake Griffith, and he's just riding right down third, kind of minding his own business.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys know. I'm not sure if they can make it to the end of the race. I think they're going to have to make one more pit stop either way, Ryan, if they can only do 40, 45 laps on fuel.
Yeah, one other person that we were talking about earlier in the race actually had a miscommunication on pit stalls, Jeremy Crandall in the number 73. He's actually back on the lead lap, bringing 12th position. he's not going to win the championship running back there, but he's back on the lead lap. So, like you said, these guys have to make one more pit stop. So we'll definitely have to see if he has anything up his sleeve. He's able to get back on the lead lap.
I tell you what, 2016 we gave out something called the Hard Charger Award. That driver got $500 at the end of every race. No, I'm just kidding. They did get a bonus. 2017 we do not have the Hard Charger Award, but if we did, right now as it stands, the 73 would be the #1 candidate for the Hard Charger Award. Like you said, Ryan, with pit stops, one more to go, and Jeremy's one of the smartest guys in his crew chief on managing fuel. Would not shock me to see him get a top 5 finish, maybe even a win. You just never know how these things are going to shake out.
Yeah, if you were going to give an award for probably the biggest truck in your rearview mirror, William Luckner is going to take that award because he was all over the 24's back bumper. Right now he's actually looking at the bottom of him off of turn 2, and can he make it stick? No, not really. Last lap he did dive it into turn 3. Let's see if he does the same thing this lap.
Oh, he's right on the back bumper, and the 24 of Eric Stanford knows he's got to take that line away from the 4. Eric Stanford has learned that the 4 is making all of his moves on the bottom of the track, but I am sure William Loeffler is only going to put up with that for a few times, and he might have to just force his way around him as he's looking to the inside again, coming into the turn, what is that, 1 and 2?
Yeah, they're coming out of turn 2 right now, and William Luckner has the inside. I don't think he's going to have the momentum to keep up with him down the back stretch, and of course I say that, the clock comes up.
Yes, fans, give us a second to pull up this replay. It looks like it's the 14 of Gary Weston had a little bit of issue. We'll see exactly what happened here as he's going into the corner. Oh, it looks like in front of him we had some issues. It looks like our good friend Judd Danielson had some issues with this truck. It got a little bit loose. I think he had the 45 of Sean Kalist right on his bumper. Go ahead. What'd you see?
It just looked like two drivers, like 45 just really wasn't judging Judd's braking point going to turn 1 and just kind of had nowhere to go right there. So they both, I mean, obviously everybody was running the top. It looked like 45 to get into them a little bit. They had it somewhat saved, and the 14 just unfortunately had nowhere to go. And that ended up collecting, that was Judd Danielson, the 85, the 45, 14, and the 73. Jeremy Crandall got a little bit of it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to stay right here with you, fans, and we're going to find out exactly what these guys do on pit stops. I'll let you follow the leader on pit road. If you don't mind, Ryan, let us know what he's doing.
No problem. Well, we have the number 4 car. He's running second place. He hit his pit stall, so he's going to be getting his 4 fresh tires and a tank of fuel. Eric Stanford in the number 24 hits his pit box, and the right side to go up on his truck. Car William Luckner leaves his pit stall. Now it's going to be a race off the pit road. William Luckner actually wins the race off the pit road, beats the number 24 of Eric Stanford, followed by Jared Campbell, Blake Griffin, and Shane Parrish. So it looks like coming to the restart, we might actually have a new leader. I didn't see anybody else stay out. So this race is definitely going to be interesting for the final handful of laps.
Yes, Ron, thank you for that update. It does look like we're going to go back green on lap around 123, maybe 124. 124 and 40 is 164. We got 167 laps to complete. So I'm thinking these guys might be trying to save fuel as we speak. I don't know if you can ride along with any of these guys. Sorry about that, Ryan, and see if they're saving fuel already.
Yeah, we have roughly 47 laps to go. I don't think that you can save that much fuel. I'm running on Eric Stanford right now, and I don't hear his motor going, so he's definitely saving fuel. Yes, same thing with William Luckner. So a lot of these guys are saving fuel. Actually, everybody in the top 5 is. Yeah, your whole top 5 is definitely saving fuel. Their motors they're cut off. They're not doing anything. They're just coasting around this racetrack.
Absolutely. So these guys are already thinking, after 121 laps, we've had the majority of these laps under green flag, which is my hats off to these great drivers. I know every single one of these drivers ran pretty well. If I would almost bet that I had personal conversations with every single one of these guys as I recruited them into this wonderful Dominus 2IJ Racing League. And these guys are some of the best, and they know what's on the line here. And they are definitely doing the strategy. Eric Campbell in the 6 is down on the apron trying to save fuel. And all these guys, like you just said, are trying to save fuel, make it to the end. In case we go to the end without a caution, which could be interesting, it could happen. Of course, we also could have a string of cautions. You just have to wait and see, fans. Again, I want to remind you to click the subscribe button for All Pro Broadcasting. Get your name in the hat for that $200 drawing. And again, fans, we want to salute you and thank you for being with us for all of 2017. It's been a great year. It's not over yet. After this exciting finish of this Dominus 2IJ Racing Den Fenders race, where we will crown a champion for 2017. We're going to have tomorrow night our finale for the whole year when we have the Top Shelf Cup drivers. And now we're going to do another one of those wonderful crank it ups. Thanks to Michael D'Amico, who is the best camera guy out there in iRacing, in my opinion. We're going to follow one of these fast drivers. We're going to go all the way back, looks like, to the 17 of Gary Sexton, restarting 10th on this restart. We're going to do in-car camera, crank it up style, thanks to All Pro Broadcasting. And we're going to let you turn up your surround sound systems, Ryan. And I tell you what, this is going to be exciting. Looks like the trucks are coming around turn 3 and 4. They're following the beautiful Mustang pace car, which we'll be pulling down off the track here in a minute. We're going to let you crank everything up and enjoy this restart All Pro Broadcasting style.
Green flag, green flag.
All right, fans, I hope you enjoyed that crank it up. Seeing the 17 truck move through the field. Looks like we got an exciting finish to this race. Ryan, what are you seeing up front?
Well, on that restart, it looks like going to turn 3 off that restart, number 7 just barely got into the 24, and Eric Stanford actually hit the wall a decent amount. So his race was, I don't want to say done, but he's got a significant amount of damage. Also, the sponsor of this race, Joe Johnson, got sideways and ended up hitting the wall and had a good save, but I don't think his chances of winning this race is going to be good tonight either after that contact with the wall.
Yes, the wall is never your friend, as most people know, and unfortunately racing, there are some close calls, there's some hard racing, there's some trading paint, and especially near the end of a championship race, hopefully those guys will be able to get some repairs done if we have another caution and get back to the front. Looks like William Locklear in that number 4, Monster Energy, is stretching his lead over our new second place runner, which is Gerald Campbell, who is definitely maybe saving his best for the end of the race. We got Shane Parrish in that number 81. He's doing a great job here. We got a great show back here, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, led by Blake Griffith, Jack Watts, Vernon Margine, and looking to the inside of that is Judd Danielson in 7th. We've also got Gary Sexton in the 17 trying to get back to the front where he was earlier in the race. Ray Richer has got a good view out his windshield in the 9th position, that number 44. And Tyler Chalk, hadn't spoken much about Tyler tonight. I think he might have had some issues earlier in the race, either on pit road or somewhere.
Yeah, I saw him disconnect a couple times and come back in. So he might have had connection issues earlier in the race. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on that. But we only have we're what, less than 40 laps to go right now. William Lochner would be your champion if the race ended right now. So as of right now, whoever wins this race is going to be your champion, with Eric Stanford taking an unfortunate turn of events going into turn 3.
Absolutely. Of course, Gerald Campbell, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is still in the running for the championship. Don't count out the number 6, veteran of Foreign Wars, number 6.
Yeah, there are a whole top 5. We got William Lochner in the lead, Gerald Campbell in 2nd, Shane Parrish in 3rd, Blake Griffith in 4th, Jack Watts in 5th. That's the top 5. They are all running for a championship, with the added drivers of Vernon
Margine.
Yeah,
Vernon Margine. I know that's a tricky name.
Yeah, so we still have to run for the championship. It's just these top 5 guys, they're the closest together. They know what's on the line with coming down to 30 laps to go.
Absolutely. So who has made the right call on pit road? Who has got enough fuel in the tank to make it? I tell you what, it's hard. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought you were asking the question. I'm like, well, from the looks of it, William Lochner's not slowing down. He's steady pulling a gap on Gerald Campbell. And Shane Parrish has actually caught Gerald with that. I would think they have to pit again. So, even still, it still can be anybody's race right now.
Ryan, I'm still willing to bet that somebody, not sure who, but somebody's going to try to stretch this fuel to the end. It might not be somebody in the top 5, unless they all start slowing down, but we'll have to see. Wouldn't shock me if somebody, I'm not sure who it could be, but somebody could stretch this fuel and make it 47 laps. And to be honest with you, we got a couple of fast trucks that have not made a lot of passes right now. Maybe that's what they're thinking, that they're going to save some fuel here right where they are and let the top 5, 6, 7 guys run out of fuel. Because if you have to come down pit road even for a splash, Ryan, if we stay green, which is a big question, and another truck can save a little bit of fuel here and make it to the end, they could be your champion on fuel strategy.
Yeah, and the one thing about saving fuel, if you were trying to go, I think it was roughly, 50 or 45 laps, in order to save that amount of fuel, you have to be committed from the get-go. The moment that jack drops off the pit road, you have to be committed to saving fuel throughout the full race. So like you said, it's definitely going to be interesting. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to make it or not, or if they can.
One thing is for sure, the top 2 and 3 are definitely racing hard. We got William Lochner, like you said. He is out to a 1.8, 1.9 second lead. We got Gerald Campbell with a mirror full of one of the fastest drivers lately. The 81 of Shane Parrish is looking for 3rd. And we got some other battles back here. We've got the 85 of Judd Danielson and the 33 of Vernon Margine. They are racing hard, trading a little bit of paint, trying to take over the 6th and 7th position. They keep it straight, and it looks like Judd prevailed on that position as the 33 ended up getting into the wall. Like we said earlier, getting in the wall is not your friend here.
Yeah, Vernon actually pulled down pit road and he retired from the race. So that's an unfortunate turn of events for Vernon.
Yeah, yep, the biggest battle right here looks like Shane Parrish is looking on the inside of Gerald Campbell. Looks like Shane Parrish might be able to get this position as Gerald Campbell just kind of drove it in too hard on the last corner. I'm looking for more battles on the track that are side by side. Most of these guys, I think, are just riding where they are, seeing what these last few laps are going to end up being. Again, like you said, most of these guys are going to have to come back down for one more pit stop. Yeah, and some, go ahead.
I was say, yeah, like right now it just seems like everything's just kind of single filed out itself. The field has really spread itself out, and
yeah, we got some drivers that were fast up front early. Some guys have had just had some bad luck. Jeff T. Martin, he's running in 10th. He led a lot of the laps earlier, got in the wall a couple of times. Miracle's going to have to happen for him to pull off this win. Tyler Chalk's been a fast driver all year long. Had some issues electronically. He's running back in 16th. I don't think he's going to be able to manage a win here. Gary Sexton had some issues earlier. Had a little penalty and got put back. He's in 7th now. And either the damage he's got is slowing him down or he's saving fuel. I'm not sure on that one right now. Back up in 6th, Judd Danielson has a little bit of damage. But he's in the catbird seat perhaps, in that position where maybe he can make it. We got Jack Watts. That talked a lot about Jack in that 66. Looks like he started 6th. He's just running a clean, smart, quiet race. In front of him, the 6th of Gerald Campbell is either saving fuel or he's got some damage. He looks like he's going to be getting passed by the 7 of Blake Griffin now. Although Gerald is fighting back, either one of these two guys could definitely win the race. Obviously, Shane Parrish is one of these dark horse drivers for tonight. He started way back in the field. Actually, not that far back, 9th, but he's up to 2nd. And one thing Shane has taught us and showed us over the last 6-8 weeks is he has learned how to move up front and save his equipment and be strong at the end of a run, and he's doing it right now. Again, we said Eric Stanford is in 14th. He's got a lot of damage. He led a lot of the laps of this race. So we're going to have a winner for this race who you might not have picked if you made your pick before lap 84.
yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on the interval time between William and Williams, keeping it a steady 1.8 to 2 seconds lead each lap. So whatever they're doing, I don't think they're safe. So it could be a possibility that they could all make it to the end.
Yeah, that's what we don't know, and it's hard to get a hold of these crew chiefs right now. Pit box the calculators as fast as they can. They don't want us to distract them. But what they're going to do and how they're going to be able to get where they're going to be is very interesting. Definitely looks like Judd Danielson is looking like he's going to be in a good position here as he is making some headway to the front.
Shane Parrish is slowly catching William Lochner. He's cut that lead down from 2 seconds to 1.77 in the last about 5 laps. So tires are going away. Shane's catching him. Shane's part of that Aegis guys, and I know one of their drivers that I always end up racing against knows how to save tires. So he's definitely learned a lot from him, and looks like that's what he's doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. Another driver we haven't talked a lot about is Ray Richard. He's back in that 8th position. Looks like he started 12th. So he's having a good run here. And like I said, I'm not sure if he's saving the fuel or not. Looks like some of these drivers have got damage, some drivers don't. Again, we've got about 22 laps to go here.
You just had Gerald Campbell get into the 72 of Ivan Garcia just a little bit coming off turn 4. Not too much. Both cars still digging. They're still driving fine.
Yes, if you'll just let us know how things are going up front, how much the 81 is gaining on the leader.
Yeah, it's kind of stabled itself back out. They're roughly about the 177, 175, and I don't think you'll see a lot more different. Now he just dropped it down to 164, so he gained a whole tenth on that lap. 100 something. Too much math. I'm like you. I didn't like math class.
Yeah, math wasn't my favorite. I was really good in calculus. I made straight A's there in geometry, but plain old arithmetic, I just could not get those numbers put together. They would not let me have a battery back when I was in school.
Oh, dude, I had straight A's at lunch. Oh, God, that was the best subject of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the 44 of Ray Richter is trying to get ahead of the 17 of Gary Sexton. He's not having much luck now, as we do have quite a few having some damage. Let me talk a little bit about one of these drivers I mentioned a second ago. Another Domino's driver profile real quick. Jack Watson, that number 66, is running up there in 6th position. Jack Watts is from Sacramento, California. Jack's team is Southeast Motorsports. Some of his sponsors are Bowtie Apparel. He's got 4 years in sim, and he raced 3 years in real life and hobby stock dirt track racing. With I think he's got 1 win back in the day. Has 81 of Shane Parrish made much ground up front?
Yeah, it's slow, but it's progressive. It seems like if there's a small mistake out of William Lochner, Shane's there to pounce on it. Definitely of the 2 drivers right now, Shane is being the most consistent. He's running his line consistent. He's not making mistakes. He's keeping that gap at a 1.4, and he's closing it very little each lap. Like, when I'm talking about little, I'm talking about 145, 143, 144. He's keeping it consistent. Right there, he actually gained a 1.1. I actually saw William Lochner make a big wiggle off the turn 2, so Shane's definitely gaining ground here with, I believe, about 15 to go.
Absolutely. Some other drivers I'm looking at that might be making some headway to the front. Gerald Campbell is actually losing some positions. He's got the 66 of Jack Watts we just talked about on the inside. If these drivers have to run this into this race with these tires and the fuel, I think the 6 of Gerald Campbell, who just barely almost touches the wall there coming off the corner, he definitely needs some new tires. I'm afraid the 6 is not going to have what it takes to get back to the front, although he's going to try the crossover move right now on the 66 of Jack Watts. See if his car can stick on the low side. I think Jack Watts in that 66 is going to have the momentum as they come off the corner. Down looks like the back stretch, and Jack Watts will maintain that lead.
As these drivers come across the line again, it looks like Shane Parrish has dropped that interval down to under a second. He's at 0.9, and with that, Blake Griffith and Judd Danielson running in 3rd and 4th are catching them. Not as fast as Shane is, but they are definitely catching the leader. So if there is a late race caution, they're definitely, with a pit stop, there definitely could be a fabulous restart.
Awesome. Maybe we can take a quick onboard ride with the 81 of Shane Parrish. And Ryan, I'm going to let you take about a minute and give us some technical information about how he's getting around this track. I'll be back in just a minute.
10-4. Well, right now, I'll actually start when he gets back to the start finish line. It'll be a little bit easier. So as we see Shane Parrish in the number 81, he's coming out of turn 4. Right in front of him, we have our leader, in the number 4, passing a lap car. You see that these guys, they're running the top. The 4 car has actually moved up from the bottom to the top. I don't think the bottom's doing it for him anymore. Right now, Shane Parrish has the number 73 to worry about, which shouldn't be too much. It looks like he clears him right then and there. So you see Shane, he goes right back to the bottom of the racetrack. And one thing that's kind of interesting that I've noticed, he's letting that car roll up the top of the racetrack a lot more than William is. I'm not sure if that's helping or not, but I know over a long run it's definitely helped saving his tires because he's not putting so much wheel into it. But he's definitely closed the gap down. He's right at half a second that lap. This race is going to come down to the final laps, folks, and hope y'all enjoy the way.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Ryan. As we are getting down to the end of this race, we've got less than 10 laps to go. And Shane Parrish is doing what he needs to do to catch this leader. Like you just said, he is down to half a second away. Every lap he is gaining. And I think maybe William Locklear just drove the wheels off that truck early in this run. What do you think?
You know, I'm still in the in-car view of Shane Parrish. They're both doing 2 completely different lines. Shane's taking a lot wider approach out of turn 4. He's not keeping that wheel cranked in as much as the 4 car is. So his right front should definitely be a lot better as William Locklear keeps going to the bottom of the racetrack. And that's not helping his tires either. Right now, if you are either one of these drivers, your goal is the championship. Everything, I mean, we're under 10 laps to go. Everything is going to come down to these final few laps. If you're Shane Parrish, your goal is to get to the bumper of the 4 car and force him into a mistake. And if you're the 4 car William Locklear, your goal is to look out that front windshield mirror. As we say that Shane Parrish is actually in the wall.
Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, he just got a little bit too high. He was able to save it as he comes back on the track, but I'm afraid that might hand the win over to the 4 of William Locklear as long as he has enough fuel. I'm still not convinced he can make it to the end.
We're under 10 to go. If it's a fuel situation or not, these guys are going to go for it. I don't think they would try to run it dry this late.
Yes, I don't know if you can tell if William is saving it all or if he's not.
I think Williams more so backing it down, just make sure he keeps that car or truck underneath of him. He's looking at the interval. He knows he has a 4.5 second lead to the next car, so he's definitely backed his times down a little bit. But I'm convinced that's just because he's trying to make sure that truck comes home in one piece and stay safe.
Absolutely, we definitely got them battling back here for second and third. Blake Griffin was just able to get around the 81 damaged truck of Shane Parrish. I tell you what, Shane has driven an incredible race. Hopefully he can hold on to a top 3 finish here, because these drivers are definitely driving up to the on the outside of this racetrack where it is definitely risky to get into the wall. Back up is the leader, William Locklear. Looks like he's got clear sailing ahead with 1 lap car. And actually that would be the 45 of Sean Kalis, who's a few laps down with his damage. Blake Griffin is able to clear the 81, so hopefully Shane Parrish in that 81 will be able to hold on for a good finish.
Yeah, one thing that's very interesting about William Locklear, actually, he was actually, in terms of qualifying, he was over a second off of our pole sitter, Jeff T. Martin. And we saw him throughout this entire race use that bottom line of the racetrack through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to make these positions. And he's your current leader, and with less than 5 to go, actually more so 3 to go, he's most likely going to be your 2017 champion.
Yeah, one thing is for sure, don't know a lot of background on William Locklear. However, I will let you know this. We met William Locklear in the 2017 preseason races we had. Back then we called them Thunder Alley, I think. Do you remember, Ryan? It might have been a different name.
That's a good question. You're talking over a year ago, man.
Yes, sir, Ryan. We were highly recruiting new drivers. We recruited quite a few of them. We had like a 10-race mini-series. William Locklear was one of these drivers who came out of the woodwork. He was not that fast, but he was consistent. Not only was he consistent, but he was loyal. I would have to say we probably recruited a good 20-25 drivers during that 10-race mini-series. And of all those drivers, this gentleman here, William Locklear, in that beautiful number 4 Monster Energy truck, who's on the last lap now, he has emerged and looking to make history, looking to be the dark horse who's come out. He was added to this chase just this week, and looks like he's coming down the back stretch. I'll let you call the end of this race, Ryan.
William Locklear started in the back, and, you know, like you said, he was loyal. He stayed loyal to that bottom of the racetrack. He made it work. He's coming out of turn 4. William Locklear is going to be your 2017 Domino's TYJS Racing Dented Fender Series Truck Champion.
Wow, big congratulations to William. As they come across the line, I'll let you go over the final standings real quick, as we'll get these guys up into the positions for interviews. If you don't mind, go ahead, Ryan, with the finishing order.
As everybody is finishing crossing the line, William Locklear, as we just stated, he is your 2017 champion. He's your winner. Coming in second place is number 7, Blake Griffiths, with Shane Parrish coming out your top 3. Judd Danielson comes in 4th. Jack Watson 5th. Gerald Campbell in 6th, with Ray Richard in 7th. Gary Sexton in 8th. 9th is Ralph Fender. In 10th, pole sitter and one of the underdogs, Jeff Martin. Finishing 11th is the sponsor of tonight's race, Joe Johnson. 12th was Jeremy Crandall. 13th, Chad Payne. 14th, Eric Stanford. And 15th being Tyler Chart. Ivan Garcia will be rounding out 16th. Sean Callis in 17th. Vernon Margheim in 18th. Gary Weston 19th, and 20th and 21st is going to be Andrew Kessler and Mark Jackson.
Awesome, thank you so much. Let me know what you're thinking about the end of that race, Ryan, and how this shook out as they get these guys into for interviews.
I mean, it worked out kind of like what we thought. I think me and you both knew coming into this race it was definitely going to be any one of these 12 drivers' race. We didn't know who it was going to be. Going into it, we thought it was going to be one driver at the early part of the race. In the middle part of the race, there's another driver, and then out of nowhere, William comes in and takes it all away.
Yeah, I tell you what, that is an incredible run by William Locklear. I'm going to let you go ahead and interview our third place finisher, Shane Parrish.
Shane Parrish, it's Ryan Hill up in the booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
Hey, bud. Sorry about the final few laps. You were actually doing a really good job of catching ground up there. But besides that, how was your race tonight?
Well, the race was great. I want to thank Aegis again to let the whole team down, unfortunately. Got a little loose there coming off the corner. Had the truck just about the way I wanted it, but at the end I got on a little bit too hard to get that run off and, made a mistake. But David Washington was, sitting there in my ear the whole time helping me out, and great crew chief and spotter helped me do the things to do. Just apologize to Aegis and the team for letting them down.
Understand that. Well, plus side of that is y'all get another shot tomorrow night to go do the same thing. With that said, is there anybody else you want to thank for tonight, and also for rounding out the season in the Denver Fender Series Truck Series?
Just the whole team of Aegis. I can't say enough about how much I've learned, how much better I've gotten. It's been really good. It's just been awesome. You can't say nothing better about our team and what they do and how they're here to help. So it's just been a great thing. It's a sad thing for James. James was the true winner here this season. He had the competition wound out, and unfortunately some people believed some things they shouldn't have, and he got taken out, but that's the way they wanted it, so that's the way it happened. But James was a true runner, but good go to Aegis, and we'll see what happens next year.
All right, 10-4, bud. Well, you have a good one. Good job on third place, and definitely we'll be wishing you luck tomorrow night as well.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much. Now I'm going to let you interview our second place finisher, Blake Griffith. Go ahead, Ryan and Blake.
Blake Griffith, Ryan Hill in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing tonight? One position off. You're kind of turning into me now. I've talked to you a few times in the past. Got to know you pretty well. How was your race tonight?
Man, I'm. When you're disappointed for a second, I guess that's a good thing. But coming into tonight, I was telling my whole team, Gary, Joe, Tim, Will, all those guys, I was like, guys, I'm screwed. There's no way I'm going to even pull a top 5 out of this. And as the race went on, I kept learning and following the fast guys. And I was saving, I guess, a little too much, but it worked out for me in the other long runs. But man, the 4 truck, congrats to him. He was just fast. He was fast. I think he was the only guy tonight that I just didn't have anything for. So I'm happy with the P2. I'm really happy for the 4 truck too. Locklear, that's awesome for him.
I understand that, man. It's I know where you're coming from as a driver, how you're feeling, but good job for you and your whole team today, especially if you said you couldn't or you didn't think you had anything. Definitely you did show you had something, but good job on second place. Everybody else you want to thank for tonight and this season?
Yeah, for sure. And going back to that a minute ago, on that restart, man, we got backed up there when me and the 24 got into it. That just put me too far back. I couldn't find my way back. But yeah, for sure, I want to thank CCR for sure. Gary's been a huge help to me, man. When I first come on this team, when he recruited me to come on, I was terrible. I was using my tires up in the first 5 laps. Him and Will and Tim and Joe, Judd, all those guys taught me how to save tires. They've helped me a ton. So a big thanks to them. Huge thanks to Robert for putting this league on. He's done an amazing job, and I'm excited to see where this is going to go next year. Thanks to D'Amico and All Pro. Thanks to all you guys that have broadcasted this year, and thanks to everybody that participates. It was a very fun season. Can't wait till next year.
Yeah, sir. Thank you for putting on a great race, especially for me being able to just watch y'all run every week. Definitely hope to see y'all on track next year.
10-4, man, I can't wait. This is only about my 6th, 7th month on here, so I'm really excited to see where next year's going to go, see how much I improve, and hopefully battle for a championship again next year.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations on second place, and I believe Robert has caught up with our race winner and the championship crowning.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Ryan. I have caught up with our winner, the number 4 Monster Energy truck driven by no one other than William Locklear. William Locklear, this is Robert down in Victory Circle. How you doing, sir? I'm doing awesome. I tell you what, William, we got a lot of questions, but we're going to ask just a couple of them. How were you able to basically dominate this race tonight?
Man, just a lot of practice, and had a disappointing race last week, and I want to make it up this week. The truck was awesome.
Thank you so much there, William. Is there anything you did in the middle of the race on pitch strategy, fuel strategy, anything along those lines that gave you an advantage?
Not really, just sort of everything went my way tonight. Sometimes I fall behind a little bit on pit stops, but everything just went my way tonight, and like I said, the truck was awesome.
Hey, I appreciate that, William. Give us a little bit of background for you. You've got the stage here. You're on the big stage. Tell us where you live and a little bit of background on how long you've been in iRacing.
I live in China, North Carolina. This is like the second year that I've been on iRacing. And I want to give a lot of thanks to you for letting me join the league. And it's an awesome group of guys, and I just enjoy racing with them.
Hey, I appreciate it, William. Who else would you like to thank for this win and this championship? And do you have a place in your home on the wall for the trophy when you get it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'd like to thank my son. He's about the only one that helps me out. You know, thanks to me and my family that's NASCAR fans, and I've always loved it. And I just want to thank him for helping me out.
Hey, I appreciate it, William. You're definitely one of the most humble, hard-working, loyal guys. I was telling the fans earlier, you joined us back about a year ago in what we called preseason Thunder. Out of a whole handful of guys, you're the main guy who stuck around. You put in the effort, you put in the hard work, you've been loyal, you've been consistent, you made some mistakes along the way. You've always been one to admit when you made a mistake, and coming out here tonight, dominating this race like this and winning this championship is something for the ages. All these guys are scratching their heads, and they're probably hoping they don't see you next year on the track, but I tell you one thing, we are definitely hoping to see you next year on the track.
Yes, sir. I want to be there.
All right, William, thank you so much. You have a great weekend, and I tell you what, congratulations one more time, and we'll talk to you soon. I tell you what, Ryan, Michael D'Amico, all the fans out there, you heard him, and we did have one lucky fan, Susan Peters. She is out of Charlotte, North Carolina. She must be, maybe she's a cousin, distant relative of William, or maybe she just saw that Monster Energy logo on that truck and decided to pick him out. She wins that free large 3-topping Domino's pizza, Ryan. What an incredible performance from these guys. Nobody could have really picked from the beginning of this race who was going to win it, and William definitely showed us that he's got what it takes. He probably will be promoted up into the series to a different level next year. Who knows? What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, you know, I mean, going into this race, I definitely didn't expect it to be what it was. I know I had a blast up here watching it all, especially like I said before, the whole season comes down to this race. And while I was actually reading the chats, it actually looks like this was actually Williams' first win, if the chat's correct. So, I mean, no better way to win a championship to go out with your first win.
Yeah, I tell you what, like I said, he's been loyal. He's been a hard-working driver. He has shown up in many, many practices, and he has definitely surprised a lot of people in a good way. And congratulations to William. I know he's an honest guy. He's put in the effort, put in the work. No better winner for the 2017 final Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fender Truck Series champion than William Leifler. It's good to have him here. Also, at this point, want to give a big shout out and thanks to all our incredible fans. You do have one more chance to win that free pizza tomorrow night. Thank you for being with us all year long. Also want to thank Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting. He's done an incredible job coming on board. Ryan, I thank you for stepping up tonight. You got a big race tomorrow night in the Top Shelf Cup Series. What are you expecting from tomorrow night, Ryan?
Well, I mean, I know the Aegis guys are going to be fast. As always, they're always some of the first ones to beat. I'm just hoping that I can somewhat go out there and, you know, I'm going to have the same goal that I have every week. That's go out there and win the race, because you're definitely going to have to win the race in order to win the championship. But, you know, in case that I don't get a top 3 tomorrow night, I just want to say, hey, thank you for everything you've done this year, allowing me to come up in the booth a few times this year, and, you know, allowing me to race in the Top Shelf Series and the few times we've raced with the other guys. And Michael D'Amico, too, for putting on great broadcasts and also allowing me to come up here, you know. There's a lot of things behind the scene that it's a lot of fun to do, and, you know, I can't be more thankful enough to be able to be a part of it and just being able to race with everybody in the Domino's Series, from the trucks to the Xfinity to the Top Shelf. It's been a blast this year in 2017, and I'm looking forward to see where it goes in 2018.
Hey, thank you, Ryan. You're a top-notch, high-caliber person in life. Look forward to meeting you one day. You're a top-notch, high-caliber driver, and it's wonderful to meet people like yourself, people you can count on, guys that put in the time, step up to help out. We got a whole lot of guys. I mean, I could be naming guys, you know, all night long, guys who have helped out this year. You know, Chad Payne, Judd Danielson, we got Curtis Young, we've got Shane Parrish, we've got Gary Sexton. I'm mentioning guys. Ray Richards helped out in the booth. We've got Joel Campbell sponsored some races. Some other guys, like I said, have come along and really made a big addition to what we're doing here, what we did do in 2017 in Domino's TYJ Racing. A couple of you guys, I might be missing your name. I don't mean to do that on purpose. James Ross is an incredible man. He's done a lot to help our series in 2017, commenting, and it's unfortunate things that happened. And I just want to give all those guys a great big thank you. Andrew Kessler, I think, has helped out commenting a couple of times. Dave Washington has helped mentor a lot of guys and help them improve their driving and their skills in 2017. And fans, it's not over yet. You got one more chance to see some incredible racing tomorrow night. Same time, same channel. All Pro Broadcasting will be there, and you do not want to miss it. You're going to see this guy right here, this cat, Ryan A. Hill, the number 55 Phantom Ornament, unless you've got a new sponsor for tomorrow night, racing for the win. And so for Ryan Hill, Michael D'Amico, everybody here at Domino's TYJ Racing, especially for the Bennett Fender Truck Finale Championship, congratulations to William Locke, to your fans. Get a lot of rest tonight because you want to be right back here at 8:50 tomorrow night. Again, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.